Sometimes when I'm very confused, I like to sit down and write down my thoughts. Sometimes these thoughts turn into coherent sentences and then a coherent message of sorts. And this is one of those. September 17th, 2022. Some thoughts on regret, pain, and art. Part 1. Regret. No matter what you do in life, how hard you try to avoid or postpone it, sooner or later you will make a mistake and life will hit you like a boulder. Pain and suffering are a guarantee in life, no matter who you are, where and when you were born, no matter how great your life is at the moment, no matter how on top of the world you feel. There will be something at some point that crushes you, and it will hurt like hell. The higher you climb, the further you got, the more devastating the fall will be. And everything you've done up to this point might feel like it wasn't worth it. And you will wish you could go back to the moment that everything went wrong and tell yourself what to avoid, who to avoid. You'll ask yourself whether it was all worth it. You'll question your every move, every decision. You'll pray, where did I go wrong? The answer, very often, is quite anticlimactic. Sometimes you did mess up, and there is something you can do to make the future better. Sometimes you can promise yourself not to make the same mistake again. And sometimes there's just nothing you could have done. Part 2. Pain. I'm not going to lie to you and myself. It might not get better. There will be periods in your life that feel like constant pain with no relief, with no happy ending, with no reward for your suffering. And even if you're capable of imagining a happy ending, it'll just hurt too much to believe in it. Pain is simply unavoidable. The only thing you can personally do is pick yourself up, pick up your cross and stand strong. Accept what has happened and work towards a better tomorrow, even if you're not the one meant to see it. Pain is a tool. It's a crucible. It's a reminder to take responsibility for your own life, to enjoy what you can, when you can. Sometimes it will feel easier to lock yourself away, punish yourself for the pain you're feeling with even more pain, but that's a coward's way out. Here is a two-step process that so far has helped me handle things when life takes a turn for the worse. Step 1. Let yourself grieve. Let yourself feel the pain. Time for mourning is important. So much so that sometimes you need to lock the door and turn on sad music and force the tears a bit so that you can open up to yourself and start understanding what has happened. Sometimes the mourning process will take weeks, and sometimes it will be an on and off process with better and worse days. That's why you need to have rules in place. If you need to, set aside a time every day when you can sit down and reflect. Once the time has passed, move on with the rest of the day and don't think about it until the time has come again the next day. Step 2. Act. Once you have let yourself feel, a time will come to let it all go. There's no way around it. Otherwise, you'll either turn inwards and hurt yourself more, or you'll turn outwards and blame the world for what has happened to you. There's an alternative though. I suggest that you use all of what you're feeling right now, all this pain, to shape yourself. Don't do it in anger. Don't do it as revenge. Do it knowing full well that what you're doing is good for you and for your future self. Let me just share an anecdote here. I found that the times in my life when I felt the biggest need to act and create were often not the moments when I was at my best, but rather the moments when I was suffering the most. And based on no evidence at all, purely based on a hunch, I believe that a lot of art has been brought into this world through periods of pain or through periods of chaos in an artist's life. There must be a reason why some of the greatest artists in history were some of the most troubled people. Part 3. Art. The creative spirit is exhausting if not set free. I sometimes just wish I didn't have this desire to create. I wish I could simply feel satisfied in purely existing and consuming. In an ironic circle of sorts, holding this feeling in only creates more pain. So the only real solution is to act and create. I don't want to say that you need to be sad in order to be creative, and I'm not glorifying pain and suffering. In fact, the reality is that the art that you create when you're hurting probably won't be your best. But I found that creating when I'm hurting has been one of the most powerful solutions to this pain. To various extents, writing, drawing, filming and photography have been a way of taking back control in my life, and things have turned for the worse. I believe that all humans carry a divine spark. And what better example of that than to shape our reality, shape our lives through the things that we do when we're suffering. Creating is likely the holiest thing that we as humans can do. And here is a summary of sorts. Life isn't always happy. It's good that life isn't always happy. Because through suffering, you learn to become a better person. Very recently, my life went from being utter chaos, with me feeling completely lost, to then me finding something resembling a direction, with a purpose, which led me to thinking that I have everything figured out. And then everything broke and went back to pain and confusion. But I'm learning to accept that this really is just how life is, and I can't change it, but I can use it to end up a tiny bit of a better human every day because of it. I wish you all the best wherever in life you may be right now.